to Christianity in the South, and much of it was Democrat. So those people are the ones that I'm referring to when I say, all right, so they're watching all this and they're sticking with the party. They're at their state level now. So, and the funny thing about politics is, it's just, if the region is covered, like Long Island is saturated with Republicans in Nassau County. Ironically, because the whole damn state is a Democratic inferno. But yet the Republicans and the Giuliani types win in certain spots. So I just wonder how many really good old-fashioned Democrats, where the hell their minds were. Like, who, when they're watching a debate, who the hell is left to do anything that they care about? There's nothing more to say on it. I don't know of any good Democratic woman in the race right now, if there was going to be another one. Tulsi Gabbard is a member of she was a CFR member, and that requires a ritual murder. So that nurse found an oxygen cord to step on someplace. Plain and simple. I'm not calling anybody out or any of this stuff. I just want to stay on topic and say people are witting and they're unwitting. And so Tulsi Gabbard's got some problems now to really set the stage straight for self-forgiveness and for public testimony about, I shouldn't have done that, and I now know it, and I want to be with our collective that has no shame. You have to have no shame for what you did, and then tell everybody so you can get a hug. I'd love to hug Tulsi Gabbard and get her squared away, so we can all ascend together to true Woodstock and true stuff. But right now we're so corrupt morally and down to the soul level so deeply that I had to have I'm having these confrontations now that are hurtful to me. And I'm not expending the energy anymore to try and help somebody very delicately off the ledge that I see them falling down. And I had to just crack out my flashlight today and say, you're a blood drinker. If you're going to the Holy Eucharist or some Bambino, Jehovah, Dovova, Devava, blood, you are. Simple. I'm not wasting any time on it. I'm explaining. Our Creator, Abun, Pastor Ryan's belt, said no blood sacrifice. So if you are in a trance in your post state of YVHW, blood, drink blood, don't tell me anything else other than you say blood too much and you don't know what you're talking about. Blood. Our Creator detests blood sacrifice. Mercy, not sacrifice. That's a lecture to the Second Temple crowd. So what happens to many of the viewers who may be listening to this, you get regulated by the Second Temple. People like Podesta, he's Caiaphas or whatever, back in the day. And I'm just putting it in proper terms now, where they went really far when the Dracos had to deal with the Nazis since 1940. That is advanced cross-sectioning, throwing Area 51. They are coming at it. The Second Temple was just getting orbited up compared to where we George Jetson to now. I mean, it's quantum. But I'm explaining that what's occurred with humans over the rotational cycles of a long time, you could have been a Second Temple bosom buddy with the Caiaphas crowd just to throw out names for the sake of somebody had to be there wearing those clothes and playing that role. So let's just say you're on the temple floor, you're the rabbi's kid, and you're in. So then you're in. They got you in a dream state or whatever with a watch to watch and do this and do that. And that was 2,000 years ago. And you got Beelzebub, your Tushy, into a controlled inner life. So now what happens? As time goes on, I'm speaking about a lot of people now that get absolutely tormented, and they find out that, oh my God, I was Epstein's child at 14, or I was in the dumbs. I was in Dulce on the 72nd floor down, where it's real, and they go down low and they could do all the robot stuff to test the knots, whatever they do. It's a big madhouse that people were really in, and people have been liberated and they're out and they're talking it up right now. Super Soldier Talk and other people who are hurting and they don't know it. They're trying to work themselves out of it, and they're still challenged because they made it all the way back out of the dumbs and being tortured as MK Ultra products, and they've made it back to the second temple now. So they made their way out of the dumbs, and spiritually they're back in the second temple, reliving it. Whatever children of Belial talked them in off the kiddie floor at the second temple, well, now they're back and they're out of the dumbs, and they're on the surface. They got an apartment or whatever, and they're back with second temple hooky about blood sacrifice. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. There's no other. You don't take human blood and offer it up in any ritual concerning death and think that you're getting something out of it because you say it with some magic about anything. That is offensive to the very first pulse that began the universe. Advanced to the point where human blood is what makes us run. And not only human blood, it doesn't say no human blood sacrifice. It says no blood sacrifice. And at that second temple, when he got mad, they said, oh yeah, you're going to be the new animal sacrifice there, Yeshua. Watch us. And he knew that was coming. So that's why at the Last Supper, he said, please don't eat when you eat bread and wine, or if you're going to remember me, when you have the ceremonies in the future where because you know who I am, we know who I am, they're going to know who I am. So after I do what I do in the future, when you guys nosh with bread and water, doesn't even need to be wine. Could be water. He thanked the water. Water's wonderful. People in prison have bread and water. It's the diet, and we're all in prison. So it might have been water. Why not? But he said, hey, when you guys are eating, please remember me then, because this is real food and real drink. And here's what they're going to do, guys. These are extra words. Burn me. Here's what they're going to do, guys. Judas, everybody, you're all still here. They're going to hang me. And then they're going to have this mass in the future where they're hanging me every week. And they're going to use my body and this whole act. The priest is going to be putting it up. And please, guys, look, I know I only got a few days left. I'm trying to have a good time here. Real food and real drink. Bread and water or bread and wine. Regular food. So when you're having your dinner, if you want to talk about me then, because you're eating bread, not fish, by the way, not animal, not lamb, bread and wine, agriculture product, and really water. Wine or water. Water turned into wine, same, get it. Wine is not, what kind of conscious level is wine? It's a product of combined, it's great. I'm not gonna get off track on that. the subject of this presentation, to bring it back together, as witting and awareness and white-hatted behavior that ends up supporting the dark guys at the top, who may well know that you are accomplishing your feats for them. They may or they may not. And it's just for you to slow down and say, what am I doing with my life? In closing. And in terms of being witting, let's all agree that if you're me, so I get the main opinion, nurses as a profession, they just touch your heart, especially when you're infirm and you're in the hospital and you get to see them in action and you realize it's a job. It's hard, it's long, they got to do it, but they're all lovely. Like when you're in as a prisoner, thank goodness for them. And the TLC that they give you, and they have relationships and they talk to you, because I've been in for a couple of times. So nurses are very nice, very, very nice. And what we have is pharmacy is sorcery. So the entire pharmaceutical industry, needs re-examination, and I would say begin from strike everything out, go with what grows out of the ground, and know that the angels universally put the right stuff here for us to eat, and we'll be able to go get some more when we find out there's good stuff on planet M45 that they've been waiting to give us once this tent came down. So it's going to be very good for us. And be witting in a good way. And if you find that you've been a victim, I know guys, let's say that professionally that you were, the dude from the Navy SEALs that ended up being killed by that event where the man was shot by another PTSD victim. Who knows about any of the things with that? We like having our heart broken, don't we? That's a heartbreaking story. So anytime that one of those things happen, or to make you really mad or sad, you better beware about how it got put together. And the higher up on TV it is for the making the news, like in a whole whoa, it made it. Take a careful look at everything that happens and the roles that are played. But then add to it, who are you and what have you done? You studied hard. I'll go back to nurses. I'll go back to my father-in-law, who's a master pharmacist, who was a law enforcement guy that was able to integrate the two professions, and he was recognized for his ability to function in those two realms. And that entire industry needs to be flushed and rethought in terms of new earth. And we were all guilty. We all took the drugs to break one thing to fix another, and vice versa. So it's all got to stop. And the stuff we put into us and the intent on what they did to us, it's diabolical. They're cannibals. So be witting about who you are and go vegan, and let's live forever. And I love everybody. So if I upset anybody during the day today, know that there's a good reason why. And I don't find it at all professionally rewarding to have said enough. Everybody have a good night. Much love.